Declan, just reflect back. I know we spoke after the game, but you've had 48 hours or so to think about it. A good point or a disappointing result?
I think it was a good performance, to be quite honest. I thought we played well, and we played with a lot of intensity, a lot of physicality early on to match what Mayo were throwing at us. And I thought we played really good football until probably that final third, where maybe our shot selection or decision making around that wasn't probably as good as it should have been. We still had 9 points on the scoreboard at half time, but eight wides and 6 into the keeper's hand was too much. At that level we should have been in maybe 5-6 points ahead at half time. We went in 2 points ahead, but in reflection on the second half, I thought we were the better side. Ultimately a late goal cost, so we away 2 bad goals on the night, and it felt like a point loss, but when you look back on it, I would have to say I was happy with the performance and the way the lads went about their business. And as I say, we can build on that for next Sunday against Meath.
Yeah, just in relation to the first half, it is disappointing when you kick that many wides and that many balls into the goalkeeper's hands. Is that just nerves on the night, do you think? Guys snatching at things where they normally would take their time, and because some of the chances were relatively easy, if there's such a thing at that level. Yeah, there was a breeze. The breeze was definitely, we were playing into the breeze in the first half, and whether that caught some of the lads out, but there, the shot execution just wasn't good enough on too often. And as I say, we still end up with 19 points on the night, which is a good return. And the goals, take away those misses and the balls that dropped short. The 2 goals ultimately, and they were, from our point of view, 2 very poor goals that we conceded. And but listen, this is Division 1, and you have to, we got the late goals 8 minutes into injury time in the second half, but you have to play to the final whistle, and you have to adapt to those situations. And unfortunately, we didn't adapt to that last play in the game, and we were caught and punished heavily. Yeah, you might get away with it in Division 2, you might get away with it, but you won't get away with it in Division 1, Declan. Definitely not. And you look at the matches in Division 1, and you look at the intent the teams have gone out with now. There's going to be no soft touches. That's for sure. 2 draws, a 1 point victory for Galway, and a 5 point victory for Tyrone. Not much in any of them. None, not exactly. And a lot of those teams are putting out their big guns. You've seen in Croke Park at the weekend, 2 really full strength teams going at it. Dublin and Kerry. Monaghan putting out a full strength team down in Salt Hill. Galway probably just without the Corofin lads, and they'll be due back in now. They're probably back in already. Tyrone, I know they have a number of injuries, but again, all the big guns are there. But so it's Division 1's competitive, and teams are setting their stall out very, very early. Yeah, Meath and Donegal had 3 great battles last year in the league and in the Super 8s, and then of course in the National League final. You came out on the right side of all those results, not without problems. No, I said this last week. I mean, the matches we played with Meath last year probably stood by us in terms of when we went into the championship, because we got some really, really strong matches from them. The 2 league matches, we got Ballybuffet, lucky to come out of that with a late score to beat them in Ballybuffet. In the league final, they gave us plenty of problems, especially in that first quarter. I think we were 6-7 points down at one stage, and we regrouped towards coming into half time, and in the second half we put on a strong performance. But Meath came up along with us to Division 1, and deservedly so. They were the next best team in the league. And then the Super 8 match in Ballybuffet on that warm day, again for about 60 minutes of that game, they were really at it, and we finished the game strong that day. But on all 3 occasions, they showed their intent. They're a physical side, but they've also a lot of pace. Yeah, they're the only team without a point after the first weekend, so they might feel under well, of course Monaghan don't have a point either, but they might feel under a wee bit of pressure. Listen, it's early days. There's 6 matches to go, and I'm sure they're seeing this now. This is their first match back in Navan playing Division 1 football. They're going to have a really strong home support behind them, and it's important from our point of view, and Donegal will travel in good numbers, that we get good support behind the team, because as you've seen on Saturday night, it's a relatively young team. Yeah, I think when the last play was played on Saturday, I think we had 5 newcomers on the pitch that were playing wearing a senior jersey for the first time at that level. So yeah, it's important that we get that support, because it's going to be a cauldron in there in Navan. We've always found it difficult, and it's going to take a big performance for us to get the 2 points that we're going looking for. Big plus, Owen Ban coming back. Good to see Neil McGee starting as well, and as you said, so many young fellas either starting or come off the bench. This is what you want at this time of year, because you need to be testing them. May the 17th isn't too far away.
Yeah, listen, exactly, and those those months will pass by fairly quickly. We have a big number of weeks ahead of us. Week 1 is gone. I think we have another 6 out of 7 or 7 out of, I think it's 6 out of 8, maybe 6 out of 8, coming up.
Yeah.
And against all the top teams, they're all coming, and so we've got to be ready for it. We'll be looking at other players as the league progresses. But ultimately, I say we want to be playing Division 1 football in 2021, but we're also building towards the 17th of May, which is going to be a huge match. But for now, short term, it's Meath and the challenge that they'll bring to us in Navan on Sunday.
Yeah. That's the thing you have to juggle with, Declan, isn't it? Try to survive in Division 1, but be ready for the Tyrone game on the 17th of May. And that can create its own complications and problems for you in terms of who you put out, when you put them out, and if you're at the back end of the league looking for points, you don't really want those types of matches.
No, listen, the one thing that you will come unstuck if we know May the 17th is a huge match, and that's etched firmly, as I said, in the back of our minds, but we've got to take it one game at a time, and every point and every 2 points that's on offer, we've got to go looking after them. And if we think too far ahead, we're going to be in trouble. So as I say, short term, we need to get the performance levels right. We have 2 training sessions to get over now, and we've got to be ready when we hit that field in Park Talchin and Navan on Sunday to put on a big performance to get those 2 points.
Yeah, great to see Owen Band back, as I said. Just in terms of the mentality of the young lads, they're experienced this for the very first time, and no matter how talented you are underage, this is a huge step up. You're happy with them, how they're shaping up?
When you're looking at young lads and you see them at training and they're mixing with the likes of the Michael Murphys and the Ryan McHughes and those type of players, Hughie McFadden, it's when they're in that battle, and last Saturday night was a real battle, and as I said, the likes of Peter Morgan and Conor O'Donnell and Jack McKelvey, the likes of Conor Morrison, Brendan McColwyn and Andrew McLean, all young lads, and where better to learn than in the middle of that cauldron and McCool Park, what it was last Saturday night, in front of big support, and huge learning, and we've got to take learnings from it.
Will the approach be different in terms of this is an away game rather than a Balbuffet game, where we looked as if we were really on the front foot and wanted to play good football and attack when we could? Will the thinking be somewhat different, or is there a pattern of play that we're going to stick to now because we think it's the right way to go? Listen, you have to adapt at different stages of every game, and the one thing we want to play, and I suppose the one thing that I wanted since I've come in here, is that we let these lads go and express themselves and play on the front foot, and I thought we done that on Saturday night for long periods. We didn't get the rewards that play deserved, but in football, and no more than anything else, you make your own luck. So we've got to be ready. Will our game plan change? No, it's not going to change hugely, but we've got to be ready to adapt to the challenges that Meath will throw at us, and as I say, let's hope we meet those challenges head on and get that performance.